Hey, didn't see you there. I hate when people do that. Obviously, I have the camera on. I had to turn it on. I'm not on a reality TV show, which I wish I was, but I'm not. Anyway, welcome back to my channel. My name is Julianna. If you're new here, I recently graduated law school in May, which seems like an eternity ago. I took the bar exam in July, which also seems like an eternity ago, and now I'm waiting on the results. Today, very exciting stuff. I started my first day doing my pro bono hours. Yay! So working for free. New York specifically requires you to do 50 hours of pro bono work if you want to get admitted to the bar. Basically, if you want to practice law in New York, you got to do the 50 pro bono hours. I am definitely an outlier in this situation that I'm doing it after law school. I feel like, I know that all three of my close law school friends did it within the first year, which is what most people do. You get a public interest internship, and during your 1L summer, you work for free and you get the hours done. However, for me, I really wanted to always make money, and I also was not interested in public interest work whatsoever, and I'm still not, but I'm doing what I have to do right now. Long story short, I never did the pro bono hours because I figured I would do it during my 3L at some point. However, the pandemic hit and I was just very stressed and figured I would get it done one way or another. It's 50 hours, I can get that done in like a couple weeks, so it's really no big deal. So I am clerking for a judge remotely, and the court is in Jersey actually, but it still counts towards my pro bono hours, so that's great, and I can work whenever I want. I am also studying for the Securities Industries Essential exam, which is in 10 days. 10, not 11. The good thing about the securities exam is that I get the results immediately. So as soon as I find out whether I pass or not, and hopefully I pass, I will put that certification on my resume and start applying to jobs. I do have experience working at a hedge fund and a financial advisor, so I think, that's definitely giving me the upper hand when I apply to these jobs, that I have a year experience. And of course, taking the securities exam shows right off the bat that you have general industry knowledge, and the company that I end up working for, it really depends if it's an investment advisor, a hedge fund, a broker dealer, whatever one I decide or I get an offer on that I like. Each one has different series requirements. So I might have to take a series 7, or I think the investment advisors have to take a series 66. So I want to have to take one of those, and it's a co-requisite with the securities industry exam that I'm taking next week. So the good thing about that though, because yes, I'm going to have to take another exam, they sponsor you, your company will sponsor you through the test, so they will pay you and I'll be getting paid during that point. But the fact that I'm taking this test now, it just shows employers that I am likely to pass the series exam that I'll have to take, and I'm taking this seriously, and I know what I'm talking about for the most part. So, okay, that was a very long introduction, but I'm about to go on my lunch break and take a coffee break, basically, because I'm not really gonna eat. And then I need to finish writing up this rider, which is basically a memorandum for the judge. And yeah, I really can't go into any more like specifics. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss a video. And let's just get into this vlog. I'm excited to be back in action in my study space and doing productive things, although I really did enjoy being in Santorini and doing absolutely nothing. So. Well, that took me a whole lot longer than I anticipated. So it's 5:15 and I sent off the rider, is what they call it, to my boss to review it, and that's it until he gives me another assignment. So I still have a big chunk of studying to do for the SIE next Thursday. So I really got to get my butt in gear here. I'm just tired. Obviously, I worked all day and like I was kind of stressed because like it was my first assignment. I wanted it to be not perfect because it's never going to be perfect, but, and he even said in an email like, we do not strive for perfection. And I'm like, but I do, and that's a problem. But yeah, so we'll see. I guess I'm just gonna start studying. I mean, I have the book open, so that is step one. And then just, maybe I'll go on my desk bike. I don't know. I feel like this is making me look like large. Anyway, all right, so I just got to stop talking and get to it. And I'll check in with you guys later. So guys, I was going to do a get ready with me Q&A, but my friend's coming over early, and yeah, so now I need to just get ready fast, and I don't have time to sit here and answer your questions, but we'll do it tomorrow. Today I basically studied all day, and that was it, because the SIE exam is in exactly a week from tomorrow. So I have to finish up my last few units, and then tomorrow I start practice exams for the rest of the whole weekend up until I think the day before the test. I have it set up. All right, so let me finish doing my makeup and I will talk to you guys later. I'm doing my nails, so I figured let's see if I can multitask and do this Q&A and answer your questions. I don't know. I feel like I need to concentrate when I do my nails, but we can try. Is the bar exam expensive to take? Yeah. You can get a bar prep course early on in law school, like during your 1L and 2L. They advertise it all the time. You'll have student reps that speak for different companies like Kaplan or Barbary, and they'll annoy the shit out of you via email for your entire 3 years. But I didn't buy my prep course until 3L, and I didn't really get much of a discount. I think I got like $100 off, and it was almost, I think it was like $2,800 Barbary. But either way, I mean, the cheapest course you're gonna get is $1,000, $1,500. And then plus the supplements, like Adapt to Bar was like almost $400. I bought a bunch of books on Amazon with extra MBE questions, which were like $70-$80 a piece. So it adds up. It's expensive because when you register to take the exam, I think it was like $2 something to take it. So that in itself is an expense. So I think you should be 100% sure that you want to pursue your law license if you're going to sit for the bar, because that's another question. Is the bar worth it if you're not 100% sure of your work in law? I wouldn't put myself through that torture. The money and the time that you take out of your life, 2 to 3 months straight of studying. So why would you do that? And it's studying all day long, sometimes 10, 11 hours a day, every day. So why would you do that if you weren't 100% sure? So if you're not 100% sure, don't do it. How was the LSAT and what materials did I use? Well, the LSAT was quite a long time ago for me. I took it summer of 2018. I took it twice. The first time I was so nervous because the whole reason why I went back to finish my undergrad was to go to law school and become a lawyer. So if I didn't do well in the LSAT, then what? If I don't get into law school, then the end goal is not happening. So I put a lot of pressure on myself. If you don't know, I am a first-generation law student, so I had no idea going into this entire journey what to expect, what I should do. I just kind of learned up as I went. On Amazon, I bought the LSAT books. I will link them here. And they had all practice exams, and this is the study schedule that I used. I'll link it here. And I wrote a whole blog post about this, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but at the end of the day, I took it twice. The first time I was just so overwhelmed with nerves that it really wasn't the material that was the issue. I didn't finish multiple sections, so I just randomly guessed on like the last 3 or 4 on certain sections, and that will make or break you on the LSAT. So you need to make sure at least that your answer, you're able to read every question and answer it to the best of your ability. If you're not moving fast enough, you won't get to the last question, and then you're guessing. Second time I took it, I did substantially better. I just bought more books with more exams, and I bought individual logic game books to help work on those, and reading comprehension. I think I bought the reading comprehension Bible. I took more and more practice exams the second time around, and actually timed myself, because I felt like the first time I didn't time myself. I was taking the test untimed at home, and then when I went into it, I only took it timed a couple of times, and yeah, it just didn't work out. So that's what I recommend. You don't need to buy a commercial prep course. Save your money and study on your own, because it's possible. Moving on from LSAT to 1L. How was 1L for me? Well, could have been worse. I think looking back, I didn't realize how difficult it was to adjust within the first few weeks. I was exhausted. I wasn't used to going to school Monday through Friday. It was a full-time job. I had to readjust my entire schedule and my life. And then I thought everything was going well. I thought I was doing everything right. I didn't think it was necessary to go out and make friends. I was 25. I had my best friends, so I was just like, whatever. I don't need to go and try to find friends in law school. I didn't have friends in undergrad the last 2 years, and I was fine. So during the whole first semester, I just kind of kept to myself, went to the library, studied, came home, and I had Matt, so he kept me sane. And I still hung out with my friends, not as much as I did during undergrad, but on the weekends I tried to make appearances if I could. Plus I was bartending Saturday nights. So long story short, winter break, Christmas, got our grades back, and I thought I did fine on my exams. I didn't leave anything thinking that I bombed it. I was in Cabo, I'll never forget. My grades were posted. I opened them up and like was not well. For the first time like in 2 years I didn't get straight A's, so I like had like a fit. Being in Cabo definitely softened the blow because I just got drunk afterwards. I cried and then got drunk with my cousins. Okay, Chinese is here, so well, let me just finish the story. Then I googled, you know, because I was like, how come? Like, I really didn't understand the curve at that point, so I was gung-ho that I was gonna get A's, and if I got a B, I'd be all right with it. I didn't think I was gonna get straight B's. It just didn't make sense. Even in my legal writing class, like I was getting A's on the assignments, so how did I get a B plus in that class? Like, it just didn't make sense. Like, doesn't make sense. But then once I realized only like 6 people in the class can get A's and then the rest of the people get B's, I understood. And then when you get an A, it just felt so much better because you're like, I'm one of the only people that got an A. It was quite an adjustment to my mindset, but I think that's for everybody who goes to law school because you're so used to getting straight A's at that point in your education. And then after your first semester, I mean, they stress so much, so you need to be top of the class so you're not going to get a job. No, I've never been asked on an interview like what my grades are. Not once throughout law school. So doesn't, to me, it hasn't made a difference. To others, maybe it does, but this is just my experience. All right, guys, I'm gonna end the vlog here. I still need to finish my nails, and I do have a few more questions to answer.
I want 20 minutes of my life back.
Matt hasn't spoken in like an hour, but as soon as I film, he has something to say. Anyway, I still have more questions to answer, a couple more, so I will just answer them in the description box below because I don't want to make this video super long. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit subscribe so you never miss a video, and I will see you guys in the next one.